The remains of late Mrs. Comfort Edeh Nee Onwe have been laid to rest at Amankazi, Eziokwe, Amorri in Nkanu West Local Government Area of Enugu State on Saturday the 7th of December 2024. Born in 1947 to the family of late Pa Benson Onwe of Umuekwesu village, Eziokwe, Amorri. Aged 77, late Mrs. Comfort before her demise was a successful sewing and fashion designer. She was an industrious and a business-oriented woman who excelled in all her endeavors. Late Comfort Edeh at a ripe age in her early days met and got married to late Chief Gabriel Edeh Nwachukwu Onuoha, a union which was blessed with 6 children. In addition to being an industrious woman, late Mrs. Comfort lived a life of honesty and compassion. She was a devout Christian and a dedicated member of the Baptist Church of the Nigerian Baptist Convention and Amorri Christian Union. The interment of late Mrs. Comfort Edeh began with a funeral service by the First Baptist Church, Amorri. Then the commitment of her body to Mother Earth at her late husband's compound, Amorri.
To God in prayer.
Speaking to Ogama TV at the funeral, Mr. Emmanuel Edeh, the third son of late Mrs. Comfort, expressed sadness over the loss of his dear mother, whom he described as his best friend. He remained optimistic that she made her way to eternal peace in heaven. Mr. Emmanuel also extended his appreciation to friends, relatives, and associates who came from different locations to honor their late mother, praying for their journey mercies back home.
My mom was my best friend. I'm not going to wear the number. I go to the Congo and they would them too much. When we are from me, give me an average year, the 15 period. My number from childhood till date. So I'm have the number. Okay, why? What I can do, okay. Yalwa ako Muslim usuru kwera anyu no gadiro ya wanama ando kwoma onu juwere bia onu gejuwere na ajo papa onu mbono na bia ajo papa maboko no na adiro namma bele musim ona amara na madu na bia ozo tufu onwo ugoshuru mu ya uba mu ka ejere na na shituku ana mna na bia ga bia ozo. So much tazo na mega na shituka no wala ni ko mo ga ya ga bara mo bere mi si no wa mo lo no wa na meche from ka olo ai ka eju chete mom be jovious woman being.
Similarly, the first daughter of the family, Mrs. Onwe Ogochukwu, described her mother as a peaceful woman. She prayed for peace in the family as well as the smooth passage of her mother to eternal rest.
Mrs. Comfort, I've been sick bed for more than 5 years now. I got many pieces since now. So we tried a lot. Maybe the annual so that we don't but I cannot be too late. For all this while I know I'm at peace. I'm on the go. The mama told me no, I but I'm on a professional that they demand. But I make a next week. It's all she had a for I cannot come. Half a man and they couldn't move on of the rest. And the yes, people on now. nwanne m ma ndị aka adịghị ma ndị adịghị ebe ọfụma site n'aka omume anyị ka mkpakọ ụzọ dị nke ọma anyị nwụọ ọchịmanya ga-emete mụ na ụmụaka m amaghọ m ọchịmafọ m ka m nawa na m ga-emetego na ụmụaka mgbe nke m ọbanye nawa vileji amaghị m ọbụ ọnwụọ mana otu akwụkwọ ahụ ogwelu ama not because ọ na-abịa na ọfịs ahụ ọgwụrụ na-abịa ile meseji asị m ka ọnwụ mmanya wetara anyị fọfọ wetara anyị peace na famili anyị wetara anyị ịhụnanya na famili anyị nwanne mara nwanne ka mpaka fọọ n'echiche mụrụ nwanne na Jizọs Kraịst onye anyị.
In the same vein, Mrs. Emmanuel Nnenna, a daughter-in-law to the deceased, described Mrs. Comfort as a good woman who protects her children at all costs. She prayed for the peaceful repose of her soul.
Kamuni ya si dị bụ na nwaanyị bụ ezigbo nwaanyị mana ụwa ọzọ ihe dịka ya bịakwara m ọ bụrụ na a na-abịa ụwa ọzọ ndị ụwa ọzọ ọ bụrụ na di m ga-alaiki ya so since m matara ya ọ bụ nwaanyị na-agbara mmadụ ọgụ o kụziri m ọtụtụ ihe o nwere ihe m na-amara abụọ m onye ebe a mana o mere m o nwere ihe a na-eme n'obodo ama amarụ so ọ bụgodoro sọsọ nke a ekpere o nweghị ihe ọ na-anaghị emere anya ọ maka eji ekpere protect ụmụaka ya so the woman all good to me all good to me and other ones amaghị m ka ndị ọzọ ga-esi ekwe nke mana all good to me.
Mrs. Ogechukwu Chidinma Edeh, the first daughter-in-law of the family, described her mother-in-law as a kind woman who instilled peaceful virtues in her. She advised the rest of her family members to keep up with the peaceful legacy of their mother.
Ashika mkuwe mana manguwa mamu ama nata ademi. Kana the woman mneti ma kwa comfort Edeh. Ashimo wama oso oga mko kwa leti mu na mko kwa leti mu. Nwaanyị bụ nwaanyị okwu ọma enweghị nsogbu onwegoro ka o si gbajuoro mụ na di m ọfụtachi m nkọta mbara m kọta mba m ji nwaanyị ọ ga-abịachakwanụ mma ụmụ m niile m mụrụ ọnụ ọbịa mechichere m ọmụgwọ mụọ nwaanyị okwu ọma azịnụ iwe mmadụ na ọ na-amasị ya ndụmọdụ nọ as the first wife nọ this family number one bụ Chineke ga-akasigodo anyị obi ka onye ọbụla mara nọ nna anyị ihe hafọ nke bụ ka ịfụnanya Comfort ji wee zụrụ anyị ncha ka ọ dịkwa n'ime anyị ka anyị dị na ọnụọrụ ọrụ ka anyị dị na-ejiraje gbasaba ma ọ bụ ugwu iwe n'obi ma ọ tụwa agụ ma ọ bịawa akwa maka na ha maara m mụ ọrụ Ogechukwu Edeh maara na nne di bụ Comfort Edeh anyị ọ nọzi n'eluigwe nke atọ na-eche na-efere ụmụ ya aka
Eulogizing her late mother, Mrs. Nwadike Patient said, Mrs. Comfort lived a sacrificial life and fought tirelessly to protect her children. She prayed for her to have a peaceful rest while promising to take the same path as her mother.
My mother lived a sacrificial life. She sacrificed for us. Having lost her husband when we were very young, she stood by us, raised us single-handedly, and so fearless. She was a warrior. I've never seen such a mother. If there is anything like coming back to life again, she will still be my mother. Always ready to fight for things that belong to us. One thing about her, it has only been God all the way. All the way. The church is our second home. My prayer now is for I and my siblings. The Bible said in Genesis 18:19 that Abraham, that God said of Abraham, that I know Abraham, that he will teach his children to observe my ways. My mother has taught us without looking at any face. She was ready to fight to make sure that we stick to what God wants. She has shown us the way. Everything about God, she has shown us. I'm not praying for myself and my siblings that we will not deviate from that path. That is my earnest prayer, so that
wherever she is, she'll be thanking God that her lineage, people after her, are still towing the same path that she told.
Mr. Ebuka Edeh, the last child to late Mrs. Comfort, described his mother as a great woman who lived an upright life. He advised his siblings to maintain the peaceful legacy of their mother while praying for the peaceful repose of her soul.
Mrs. Comfort bụ nwaanyị dara ụwa bịa sie ike. Starting from ezinụlọ ebe amụrụ ya, ha bụ ndị na-eme ihe ọbụla ha si na ha chi ime ha na-eme ha eme ya ọfụma. Na ọnụ nke bịakwanụ soro ofu aka nwa. Onye ọbụla ya na Mrs. Comfort mekọrọ ihe, onye a na ọ na-ekwete dị na wọta. Ọ bụ ezigbo obi ụwa. And ezigbo obi anwa okporo ka akọlọpụtụ anyị. So ọ bịazịa ọdụka ya na ụmụ ụwa na-enwe ndọrọndọrọ mana ọ bụgidesiri ike wee welu ovu omume anwa na ovu ịkwụ n'ụzọ eziokwu anwa wee zụọ anyị. Ọ n'ime ka anyị ga-akwụkwa ịghọtago maka na okipụgo ọbụrụ legacy ọ ebe nwere ikwu n'ebe ọ nọ.
Tributes continued to pour in from relatives, friends, and associates as they eulogized the great woman of substance. Late Mrs. Comfort Edeh passed on to eternal glory on the 12th day of August 2024 and is survived by 6 children, 9 grandchildren, in-laws, and relatives.
When you think of online TV and radio, broadcasting, media consultancy, event coverage, event management and planning, there's no better name than Ogama TV. But that's not all. We're also into photo studio and coverage, equipment rental, news blogging, fashion and pageantry. We are at number 5/21 Chime Avenue, beside Open Sheraton Restaurant, New Haven, Enugu. Follow us on our social media handles: Facebook at Ogama TV, Instagram at Ogama TV1, Twitter at Ogama TV, website www.ogamatv.com. You can also send us email at ogamatv@gmail.com. Ogama TV, your one-stop media solution.